Yeah, good afternoon, viewers. It's nice engaging this platform again. But this evening from Nigeria, irrespective of where you're watching, this is evening. So the tide of things already changed. So I'll be the host this afternoon, while others will be the guest. So this afternoon we'll be considering something important and without leaving anybody behind, whether you're a parent, whether you're students or you are intending students. What I mean is maybe you have just completed your school level and you're thinking of forging ahead with your studies abroad. So this afternoon we are bringing to you how to secure full scholarship abroad. So we have a regular face in the house, a scholar in Canada by name Timi Oguntiyaki. So hi, I'm your host, Amola Ogun Michael Sukomi. So Timi, can you please introduce yourself for viewers out there?
Uh, Good day, everybody, from wherever you are watching. I am Timileyin Ogutuyaki, as I has rightly said. I finished my post degree from the Department of Applied Geology, FUTA, and then I proceeded to the University of British Columbia to pursue a master's in land and water system, which I concluded last month, August, and I'm now at the Memorial University of Newfoundland, St. John's, also in Canada, and pursuing another postgraduate studies. Thank you.
Wow, so you have gotten a double dose of scholarship there in Canada. That's a good one. So to start with, we know you had your first degree here in Nigeria, and of course you proceeded to Canada for your master's degree. So judging from your experience, comparing the education system in Canada, or let me say in Africa, comparing the education system in Nigeria or Africa with that of Canada. What do you have to say about that?
What I just have to say there is that I still think that apart from the system, it still has to do with ourselves as individuals. So rightly, we know that the two systems are not comparable. Like there is a huge and ridiculous gap between the two. But then what I just see about this whole thing is striving to be the best, irrespective of whatever that the system offers. So the system is better here, definitely, but then it comes with some responsibilities because even as international students here, you will realize that if you come from Africa and you are studying here, there will be a lot of challenges um, just because the system is different here. And you are coming from a different climate, and being here, there will be a lot of changes, cultural, societal, and everything that you can think about. So the system is different, but it is better here overall.
All right, thank you so much. There's always been this assertion because of the cumbersome nature, cumbersome. When I mean cumbersome now, quote and unquote, of our education system here in Africa, most especially in Nigeria, we are always been told here back at home that with education system, he is having to run from one lecture hall to the other because you want to meet up with a very good CGPA, bundles of assignments here and there. So there's this belief that okay, education system in the West is not as complex compared to what we have in Africa, in Nigeria. What's your view about that?
Yeah, I think the ruggedity, or let me say the issues we faced as undergraduates, as they have positive and negative impact on us as postgraduate students here. First thing is that there is no doubt if you can survive in Nigeria, you can survive anywhere in the world. That is the number one thing that I want everybody to have at the back of their mind. It is very possible to achieve anything anywhere in the world if you could survive in Nigeria. That's the number one thing. And the second thing that I would like to say, which could appear as what I would call a disadvantage, is that maybe at home we are pursuing grade, we are pursuing finishing with a first class or a 2-1. most of the times it is a different thing entirely here. Like nobody really cares about what you finish with. What the most important thing here is how far have you come in your program? What did you learn? And the application of whatever you have learned, because education here is kind of is problem oriented. Like everybody is looking to solve a particular problem. So in fact, they wouldn't even set up a program if it is not to solve a particular problem. So what I just say about the whole thing is while you can survive anywhere in the world, so you should know that it is more holistic. Yeah, it is more holistic. It is not just about your grade. It has to do with other life issues. You have to balance it with networking so that you build professional networks. By the time you finish your studies, then you'll be able to have people to run to, like, okay, and you must have as well have been developing yourself personally to meet up with the expectations. It is not about who you know, it's about what you can offer and your network.
All right. Thank you for that position you have made us understand. Now, I need to pick a point from what you earlier said, that it is not about the class of degree you graduated with in Nigeria that really matters. Nobody cares about your class of degree that. So our topic of discussion for today, pursuing scholarship abroad. Are you trying to say that, okay, it is not about having a first class, it is not about having a 2-1 that can actually.
Oh, thank you. That's a very wonderful question. So, when I was saying that nobody cares about your class of degree, I'm talking about the education here. I wasn't talking about the requirements that will make you maybe be awarded the scholarship or so. So the requirements is that you need to have finished well because they believe that there is going to be a huge challenge for international students here. So if you couldn't perform well at home, nobody would have confidence in you that you will do well here. So in most cases, they it is when you get here that your grade doesn't matter, but before you get here, it really matters. So that's my point. You really must have gotten something that is worth it before you could be awarded a scholarship because you have a lot of things as requirement. In fact, they will tell you strictly that 80% CGPA, 75% CGPA. The list that I've seen is 75% CGPA for most scholarships. So they really want you to finish with the first class or at least a 2-1. So that's about coming. But by the time you get here, then I think it really doesn't matter any longer.
Thank you so much. You have now coming about coming abroad, understanding of what it is to secure scholarship, how easy it is now. I believe you understand what I mean. How easy it is to get scholarship, and how easy is it to actually maintain. The thing is to sustain the scholarship you have gotten. How easy is it as a Nigerian or as an African wanting to study abroad?
Yeah, that's a very beautiful question because Nigerians have demonstrated like wonderful academic achievement. Yeah, they have achieved a lot. Yeah, so when you asked how easy it is for people like Nigerians or Africans to secure full scholarships abroad, it is not easy. It is not easy, but it is doable. This is what millions of Africans have achieved. So if anybody could do it, then anybody else, so far you follow the rules, you play by the rules, then it is very easy. It is not easy, but it is doable. So this is because why I say it is not it is why I said it is not easy is that
I love that position. It is not easy, but it is doable.
exactly that's it.
You have to
Because
actually understand.
yeah, so this is because every year graduates are being churned out of the universities in Africa and all that. And the level of competition is rising by the year. So if you had about 1,000 first class graduates last year, you would realize that this year everything would have changed, and next year you should expect something higher than how it is this year. So I think the more we are having graduates finishing with good grades, the more we'll be having competition, and the competition will be getting higher and all that. So it is that's exactly why I said it is not easy, but it is doable.
Okay, Chulai, I think Michael probably have a challenge with his network.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Sure.
Okay. So let's hope he joins us very soon. But then let me take it up from where he stopped. So I want you to, just go straight into the basics. If I, for instance, if I am in, okay, Michael is back. Let me allow him continue. Sorry, viewers.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for those positions you've made us understand. Now we have in the house again a scholar from Asia. So, and I think we'll be doing comparison of situation in Asia and Northern America for viewers in Nigeria or in Africa to understand. So we have Paul in the house. Paul, can you please introduce yourself for our viewers? Then.
Okay, thank you. My name is Paul Faduma Biodun Paul. So I am currently in India. I have finished a bachelor's in social work, and I'm pursuing a master's in social work right now, full scholarship.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. So back to you. We before you joined us, we were discussing about how the education system is in Nigeria, in Africa, compared to what we have in Canada. So can you please share your thoughts with us on the comparison between our education system in Africa to what we have in Asia?
Well, there are a little bit of similarities, and the curriculum is better than that of Nigeria. All right, the curriculum, they're already mimicking what you have in North America. That's not the truth, because you see, they are among the highest people who study abroad in the world in terms of population. I think after China is the number one. The second one is India. So if they want to compete with the schools or the universities in North America, definitely they have to upgrade. So their curriculum is almost similar or something close to what you have in North America. Now the challenge is the delivery. All right. Mostly, it is still a lot of bookish. Bookish, in I mean, still paper based. All right. But then you cannot still cannot compare with what you have in Nigeria. All right.
All right.
You cannot compare with what we have in Nigeria because of the competition. The competition is fierce. So that's the only thing.
The competition is fierce. I think I love that. Now going back to Timmy. Now we talked about the how easy it is to get scholarship, and you have made us understand the complexity of I mean the complex nature of what how it entails or what it entails to get scholarship because of the population, the numbers of people applying for scholarships across the world. So a thing is to get a scholarship. Another thing, I know there are always terms and conditions attached to getting scholarship. Could you please illuminate the minds of our viewers to some of these terms and conditions before one can actually gain a scholarship abroad?
Yeah, thank you. I think most of the scholarships have specific requirements and terms in that must be that must be that must be considered critically. Most scholarships, especially the ones in the UK and maybe some parts of Europe, will require you to go back home. So that's number one thing. So and
Sorry,
that's
to go back home as well. Can you please make us
to your home
understand that?
country by the time you finish your program.
Okay.
While some would encourage you to stay. So that's why I keep telling people to know what they want in the first instance. Do you just want to get the degree? You want to get the development? You want to get educated? Or you just want to leave your country? So people have to make sure that they know exactly what they want in the first instance. So
Wow.
when it comes to the academic aspect of it, like I said, if you get here, you will cope. It's not going to be easy, but you will cope. That's just
Okay.
it. If you could cope at home, then you will cope.
I understand your standpoint, and I would want you to talk more about it. You said for those who really want to study, or for those who really want to leave the country, and an average Nigerian, if you ask an average Nigerian, would you love to go to Canada or to US to study? Even when the person does not have intention of studying, the person will tell you yes. We will tell you yes. So, judging from these two instances, what is happening back at home? Maybe you want to leave the country, or you want to study. How do we juxtapose these two situations?
Well, I think a lot of scholars have done that. They will go to the UK and then probably finish, and then before they leave the UK, they will already be making plans of getting jobs and all that. So it has been successful for some people, while some people have not been very successful with that. But I think if the first thing we should have in mind is what your passion is. Like, it is not about going out of the country, honestly speaking, because when you go out there, you will realize that the competition is even great. The competition is great because you are not competing within the sphere of your country. Now you are competing on a global scale. You are competing with the international community. You are competing with other Africans who have been living here for years. I'm not saying you cannot win. I'm not saying you cannot break through. But the point is, if it is just to live, I don't think it is enough reason to say you want to secure scholarship, because in your personal statement, these people are psychologists. They will get to know. They will get to
Wow.
know.
Wow. That's actually a good one. So often, this question goes to Paul now. Often, when people are writing statement of interest or motivation letter, it all depends on what it is called. Motivation letter, expression of interest. So I would love two of you to actually, give positions based on your own experience, but let Paul actually react. Judging from your experience as a scholar, your motivation letter, your expression of interest, how do you get it done? Because I think it's also a cardinal factor to consider when securing a scholarship.
Okay, so that is one of the most important things. Okay, because it's what tells whoever that is going to assess your application whether you know what you are doing or not. And if you have gone to copy something, they will know. They have a way of finding out. You understand? So I would advise that most of the people that are offering scholarship, they are looking at people that are authentic. And the current world is a world where your story sells. If you have story, in fact, if you are a typical Nigerian, they expect you to have a story. Now, your ability to be able to put it into writing is very key. All right, the ability to express yourself and say, okay, this is my situation, this is me, and this is how the relationship between my story, the program that I want to study, being able to express that is very important when you are writing personal statement for scholarship, especially if you have money to spend, maybe you just want to apply and then you are paying your fee. Most of the universities that have space might give you admission, but when it comes to scholarship, they are looking for specific kind of qualities. They are looking for specific in the things that that's required, in that certain quality of applicant or candidate in the department. So I give you an example. Timilay, I think some background noise is coming from you. Okay, that's good. All right, so I give you a typical example. Before the pandemic, I applied for a master's in Columbia University. All right. So I have been offered a place to study, but I needed some form of scholarship. So when I wrote to them, Columbia University, they told me upfront that we don't offer scholarship in that department because I was applying for a master's in social work. And social work in the West right now is like, it's one of the most expensive social science courses. Okay, so they don't offer scholarship. They told me, they wrote me twice that they don't offer scholarship. So, but I have a story to tell. And I believe that anybody would want to listen to my story. Okay, so I wrote again, and then eventually they gave me certain amount of money. So I'm just saying that your personal statement is a key, is a major part of applying for scholarship abroad.
All right. So what our viewers, what our guest is trying to say is that your ability to connect your brain with your hand in putting into construction your motivation letter goes a long way in determining whether or not you will get a scholarship. That is just a point to take note of. Going to Timmy now, your expression of interest, your motivation letter, your speech. How did you go about it?
Yeah, I think the first thing is originality. The first thing to consider is being unique. Like I think I've received a lot of emails, a lot of requests from people on Twitter, on Facebook, everywhere, and they will be like, "Please, I want to write a personal statement. Can you help me write it?" This is the number one. This is the greatest mistake you can ever make. To tell someone to write a statement for you, it is not bad if someone would review for you, but to write for you, no. So it has to be original. It has to be something that is born out of you. So that is why I encourage people, especially those people that just want to consider entering the university in Nigeria right now, to go for courses that they are very passionate about. This is because this is how you can have story to tell about it. So you can relate it with, okay, when I was growing up, I've always seen this, I've seen that, so there will be a connection, and which will be very original, natural, and unique. So it is going, that's why they call it personal. It has to be personal to you. That's why they call it motivation letter. What motivated you in the first instance? They are not asking you what is motivating you to apply for this course alone. What has motivated you to start from where you started from? So what is the connection that has with the program you're applying for? Now, this program you're applying for, what are your goals? How do you think this program will help you to achieve your short-term and long-term goals? So these are the things they want to see. And now, why did you choose this university? Of course, you have a lot of universities in other countries that offer the same program. Why is this one different? So there are some things you just need to talk to tell them that will make them realize, oh, this person is indeed interested in this particular course or in this program and in this university, in this our country. So there are stages. And so it has to be personal. Uniqueness is the number one thing.
Yeah. So in summary, what Timmy has made us understand is that he who wears the shoe knows where it pinches. So what we are trying to make you understand is not all about I want to go abroad. It's not all about I want to get a scholarship. Do you know what it entails before you actually secure a scholarship? So again, we have in the house a scholar from Asia, India specifically, and we have another scholar from Canada. So we are talking about, in case you are just connecting with us, we are talking about how to secure scholarship abroad. Everybody, full scholarship, that's what they are talking about. Everybody wants to actually get out because of our education system. There's this position that Professor Lumumba normally say, and anytime I hear him say that, anytime I stumble on it, he will always say that our education system in Africa is actually free of knowledge. Now, I want us to actually evaluate this statement again. Coming from a scholar himself, a professor of law, how true is that position that our education system is actually free of knowledge? Because as a scholar, these are things you need to understand. It is not all about going abroad. If you have acquired knowledge like myself, if I would ever go abroad to study, mine is to acquire knowledge and actually use it to better the lot of my society. So, Paul, how do you do you second to that motion, or you are counter-reacting?
I support it 100%. You know, let me give you a brief story. I think in 2016, I met a small boy in Abu Dhabi. A small boy, I think he was about 14 years old. And I had the opportunity of engaging him for about 10 to 20 minutes. The way this boy was talking, he already understood what he wants to spend the next 10 years on. He was talking like a 45, 50-year-old Nigerian man. He was 14 years old. So he had his life planned. He understood the world, the way the world works. He understood his position in the world. Do you understand? That is education. The kind of education, and I'm sorry to say, I'm not trying to badmouth our education. The kind of education that we have in Nigeria is such that you have to read to pass an examination, to get a certificate. We are not actually focusing on solving problems, like Timileyin said earlier. During this pandemic alone, more than 2 universities in India have designed and provided and produced testing kits for as small as maybe $3. Testing kit. University institutions. These institutions are supposed to be problem solvers. People are supposed to go to the university to to say, okay, I have a problem that I want to solve. Now, being someone who had undergone that in Nigeria and now coming back to school as an adult, so I have a series of problems in my head that I want to study. I am, focused. So, sincerely, I think it is almost impossible, or it will be difficult for any university to say no to somebody like me because of what I know. Because I had studied them for years, and I know what I want to study. I understood the course, the program that I want to study. See, to be frank, in India, it is very rare for them to give you full scholarship, even though they are doing it now. Now, what they are doing, because during this pandemic, they've just released a brand new policy for their education, to revamp the whole of education. They have a gigantic ambition to attract the toppest or the best universities in the world, such as Yale, Harvard. They want to attract them to India. India currently have a program whereby they are going to all the poor countries of Africa and Asia, and they are recruiting the best students, the best brains, even though Nigeria is not on the list. Okay, they are recruiting the best brains. That's India. That's what India is talking. That's ambition. That's an ambitious program. But do we have an ambition for our education in Nigeria? We don't. Our education is not designed to solve problems as such. You understand? So I personally approached my university, and based on the kind of profile and I'm not trying to boast, but the kind of profile that I set out, they can't say no. They offer me the admission. I didn't even pay for application fee. I applied for the admission. They told me that, oh, the admission is over. But then I told them I'm currently in Asia. They say, oh, really? I said, yes. They said, okay, we will consider it. Send your documents. So I sent my document, sent my CV. I prepared. I've seen some of my personal statements before. All right. So there is understanding what you are doing. There is a place of knowing what you are doing, and this is very, very important. So you should be focused and purposeful. Michael, are you there? Okay, I think Michael is having a challenge.
Thank you for that position. You've made us understand. Now, I think I need to make this joke. You said our education system does not really have a plan. Now, I was just thinking about it a few days ago, maybe over the night, I can't really say, that Nigeria, do we actually have a master plan? So, if we actually have a master plan as a nation, that's when we can be talking of having a master plan, a roadmap for our health industry, for our education industry, or to talk of any industry that you may think. However, that's a discussion for another day. So, to Timmy, how are you subscribing to the opinion of Professor Lumumba to believe that our education system is free of knowledge?
I'm afraid I will, because because I've seen a lot of people who back at home, despite the fact that they have done well, they have done a lot of stuff, and then there is nothing, little or nothing to show for it. And just a few months into getting abroad and doing the right things that they are known for, not doing otherwise, doing the right thing, and you will see that they are just all over the place. That is to show you that there is a society that appreciates good things. That is just what I will say about it, because you the first thing that will baffle you is that a graduate will finish, and then on the convocation day, and such person will be given 10,000 naira, 5,000 naira, 2,000 naira, 1,000 naira, 100 naira.
That's how unique we are.
Ha! So this is to tell you that the person that is coming behind you will tell you, Scholar Timmy Alpha now. They gave you 1,000 Alpha. That kind of money I will call the waste my time to the read. So it makes people not to see beyond that. They don't see beyond it. You know, there is a generation that is not motivated at all. And then you are now, it's just as if you are adding salt to the salt.
Yeah, you have actually raised a very good point there. It's no doubt our education system is not motivating enough, is not even motivating at all. And I asked a senator who represented the vice president sometimes, no, a former minister, the former minister for youth and sport in Nigeria. I once had opportunity to engage him in a discussion. And I asked him, your generation got scholarship. You guys had free food in our universities. You guys, you enjoyed a lot of things, the Obafemi Awolowo program, and come to think of it, these are guys that enjoyed the benevolence of government in the past. Now they are bequeathed on us education system that is actually not rewarding enough. I hope we'll be able to consider this discussion in one, in one of our subsequent programs, how to see how motivation can actually engineer or engender the progress of a society. So today, let me ask you again, looking at the cultural dynamism as a scholar, you had your first degree in Nigeria. Paul had his own part of his first education in Nigeria as well. Putting into consideration the cultural dynamics, because this is a factor, a very important factor to be considered. How do you enlighten our viewers to actually prepare themselves? So, Paul, have the floor.
All right. I think it boils down to, studying what you know, studying what you are passionate about. I think we don't have, there's no emphasis on what you love. There's no emphasis on what you are passionate about in Nigeria. All right. There is. I've heard people in Nigeria saying degree and degree, but the truth is that degree is not just degree, because it is possible in Nigeria for you to study computer engineering. I mean, to study an engineering course and then end up in the bank. Okay. It is possible for you to. I've heard somebody give a testimony of him studying agriculture and then ended up working in the bank. I know somebody who studied microbiology, and because he is very good, he's brainy, he's very good, he's intelligent, and then ended up in bank. It doesn't work like that when you go abroad, So you have to be sure of what you want to study, especially if you are looking for scholarship, because they are not. It is not. There's no free money anywhere. They're also looking at what you can contribute to the university community. That's what is very important. They are not free. Scholarship is not free money. Yes, even though it is free money in the sense that you are not bringing money out from your pocket. But the truth is that the university is investing in you, and so they are looking at what does this candidate has to offer the university community.
All
So,
right.
for instance, okay. Anyway, let's continue. Let me not go beyond your question.
Thank you for that position. I think it's quite expository. So going to Timmy now, I want you to look into the cultural dynamics in terms of likewise the environmental dynamics, talking of the weather, talking of the food. You know, somebody like myself now, if I go abroad, I will always be looking for African kitchen where I will always love to eat my pounded yam. It's my vegetable soup decorated with locust beans. So, and perhaps if I can see mushroom, I will so much fall in love with it. So, judging from your experience, how were you able to cope at the initial stage of your program?
Yeah, it's not going to be easy for anybody regarding cultural shock and changes. So the point is, first thing that should come to your mind is being a scholar goes beyond the book. It goes beyond the book. It. I think you should have it in mind that you are becoming a global citizen. So this is where tolerance comes in. Like, you want to try new things, you want to see new people, meet new people, do new things, and this is what makes you different, really. Because if I eventually get here and I don't get to know about other people's culture, to know about other people's lifestyle, to know about other people's social and societal inclination, then I think I'm just but another Nigerian, like just like that. So talking about cultural changes, fine. There is preference for my own local food, but then I do it myself, but it is expensive. It is expensive to look for Nigerian food in this area. It is very expensive. So you just have to try new things. It's not as if you will not get Nigerian things. Of course, you will get, but you have to try other new things and then just be a global citizen.
Yeah, that's globalization now.
Yeah.
Everybody, viewers out there, going abroad to study. We've been made to understand that it is not just all about a book. Your understanding of the atmospheric condition is part of being a scholar. Your taste, your change in taste. I mean, coming to judging with a food now is part of scholarship because you don't just say, okay, I only went abroad, you went back home to study. Let me make this joke. There is this professor, well respected professor here in Nigeria in my alma mater. He went to Russia to study, and upon returning back home, he only came back home with books, load of books, and with a shirt of with two shirts and three trousers. And he went with a mindset and he came back with a mindset. So when he came back, his family, the cultural thing, they went with talking drum to the airport because I'm talking of 1970s, late 1970s, thereabout, or early mid 1970s. And his father was just like, so, with all the thing you have gone to Russia to do, you only came back home with books. You came back home with two pairs of trousers, and of course, three pairs of shirt. So, and looking into it, the man I'm talking about today, his lifestyle is still more or less rigid because he never took advantage of the environment. So to viewers out there, what we are saying now is this: because of the globalization in the world, it is not all about the degrees, the chains of degrees. You must be able to tell the world what is happening in Canada. As a scholar, you must be able to tell the world what is happening in Asia as a scholar. So even irrespective of whether you're a scholar or not, it is expected of you as a citizen, 21st century citizen, to be abreast of what is happening in your environment. So once again, to our viewers just connecting, we have in the house this evening, we have Paul from Asia, India, particularly in particular, and then we have Timmy from North America. Timmy is schooling in Canada. So let us now look into this side of the matter. I have a friend who is schooling presently in Canada as well. He had his master's in Germany, and he will always tell me about student-lecturer relationship, because this is a phobia that maybe some people have. Like, okay, if the lecturer I have back at home could be this, how do I put it now, inhuman, so to say, treating somebody, not valuing human dignity, how much more the society that I'm not familiar with what they are doing. So, judging from student lecturer relationship, how do you compare that with our own education system here? Paul, you have the floor.
Okay, I think mostly they consider the relationship between the student and the lecturer or the professors is customer and the business owner or the staff, kind of relationship, which means the students always have a say, unlike what you have in Nigeria. In fact, in my previous university, there is always, 2 times there is a review of your lecturer or faculties, so such that you would have to, uh, fill in some. Okay, I think Michael is having challenge. Okay, let's me. Michael,
I'm back. Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was talking. You were talking about the relationship between the students and the faculty or the professors, right? I think it's very mutual. In fact, they expect you to give feedback about your professors. So if your professor does not do well, he probably might lose his job or somebody might query him. You understand? So it's not like Nigeria where the professor is the almighty. It's not the same thing. The relationship is usually cordial. They expect you to come to them when if you have a personal challenge. Some of the questionnaires they ask is whether the teacher is willing to help you both in and outside the classroom. So the relationship is quite cordial and it's respectful. You're muted. You're muted, Mike.
Oh, sorry. There's this story I had about a student. I think that was a 2019 Chevelin scholarship, rather. This guy got to maybe the second to the final stage, as I was told, because I think this is one of the factors for us to consider in securing scholarship. So the student, the prospective scholar, needed a recommendation letter from someone, maybe a lecturer or somebody of repute, perhaps in the academia. And the recommendation letter the person gave, just let's say like 1 or 2 or 3 sentences, and that denied the person the scholarship automatically, haven't succeeded in different consecutive stages. So, what is your advice to scholarship applicants out there about how to go with their securing or getting their reference letters?
Thank you for that wonderful question. I think it is one of the most relevant things to talk about in securing scholarships. Reference letters play a vital role in decision making when it comes to awarding scholarship to candidates. Now, I think I've enjoyed good references from my lecturers, and that's why I always give it to FUTA any day, anytime. You see, there is this networking that is going on in FUTA. Like, every person that is abroad right now studying is always looking out there for people back home. And our lecturers are doing quite well. Like, this is one of the things I will say about my alma mater. FUTA is doing very well when it comes to writing reference letters, and it is the most important. I think I posted something on my Twitter like earlier this week. This school that I am right now, I was actually given I was given the opportunity, apart from my maybe credentials and all that. The number one thing the potential supervisor asked me to do is just to submit the names of my references, and my lecturers did a great job. So this is one thing that students should put in mind. You cannot just walk up to me as a lecturer, even here in Canada. You cannot walk to me. If I'm your lecturer, you cannot walk up to me without having prior relationship, like you are not engaging in class, you have not been contributing, you have not enriched my class, you have not contributed massively to my class, you are not doing well in class, you don't have good behavior, you are not, your attitude overall is not impressive. You would not expect me to write a convincing reference letter for you. So you should go to school intentionally, right from your part one. Let's get noticed for good things alone. Get noticed. Be there when people need help. Be there to offer. When people need help, I mean your colleagues, when they need help, be there to offer. So they will be able to tell good things about you, to say good things about you. Let's be contributing in class. Enrich your class with your own knowledge. So when the lecturer comes to class and he says everything he has to say, and there is nobody that will contribute, it is just like all I've said does not have any impact on the students. They have not gained anything, or I'm not effective as a teacher.
All right. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Paul, what is your take about getting, or how did you go about your own reference letters, getting them? Because this is very important to getting a scholarship.
Yes, it is important. But the thing is that since I did a bachelor's here, so I did a bachelor's here. It's meanwhile it's still the same thing like Timileyin said, because one of the lecturers that I contacted here, because I was applying to as many as possible universities, all right. So it became like a burden for them, and you have to put this in mind. All right, it became like a body for some, because many of them have so many things that they want to do. So you have to be conscious of this as well. Apart from markings, scripts, preparing notes, they have some other extracurricular activities that the school is burdening them with. All right, so that's why it's important to be specific about who you are talking to for reference. You understand? And like Timileyin said, it's also about the lecturers or the professors knowing you as a person. For instance, if you are always invisible in the class, if you have been invisible in the class, or maybe you just, maybe towards your final year, you thought, oh, I think I would study abroad. And then it will almost be impossible for you to meet up with the basic requirements, such as even taking up leadership roles while in college, because these things are very important. It's not like Nigeria where some of these things may not count, but the small activities that you take, like leadership in your class or in the university community, these are very, very important. And if your professor or your lecturer is able to include these things in their own letter, and the thing is that you won't see what they write. This is very important. People should know. It's secretive. You don't know what your lecturer or what your professor writes on your behalf. So if you are the guy that misbehaves, and the professor has written that, well, this boy, I don't see him once in a while, you know that you are done. Even if you are the best student in the class, in terms of, or if you have A1 throughout, or if you have first class, you understand? So this is very, very important that people should be conscious of it. And you know that as Africans, when it comes to position of leadership, I can remember a typical lecturer in Nigeria wants to worship them. You know, so it may not be everybody, it may not be all universities, but it is like that. So you should build relationship, should build that's key. What I appreciate what Timileyin says, you know, what he has mentioned about FUTA. I wish all universities in Nigeria are like that, such that they are willing, or, you know, always willing to help. But even here, there was a particular faculty that was always helping. Anytime I go to him, he's always the go-to person. But the thing is, what I did was that I contacted many people as far as I was writing to many, I was applying to many institutions, you know, before the COVID-19. So, and because I knew that at least you need for my program especially, because like some science courses, they might require just one, but for my program, it requires a minimum of two. They say three, but a minimum of two, because this is something that requires behavior. They want to understand your behavior. Exactly, because of that, I need more recommendation. They don't want somebody to come who will be unruly, because my career is both practical and theory. 50% on the field. So they want to be sure that this is somebody that is willing to adapt to the situation in that country or in that environment. They want to know that this is not a criminal person. All these things are important, especially for my program. So recommendation is key.
Thank you so much. Viewers, we have heard from the two guests about a recommendation, because it's a very important factor that can lead to whether securing or your denial of scholarship studying abroad. So this is very important. So we have just some couple of minutes left. So, and I want to leave the floor open for our two guests now to tell us about the floor is open for them to express themselves on how to actually secure full scholarship, judging from their experiences. So, Timmy, you have the floor.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Perhaps you can also state some numbers of scholarships, like examples. We have the DAD scholarship in Germany, the Chevening scholarship in the UK. You can equally tell our viewers about such.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. So, like I said the other time, there are different types of scholarship. So, some scholarships want you to go acquire knowledge and go back to your, most scholarships want you to go abroad, study, and go back home to actualize or to practice whatever you have, the knowledge you have gathered so far. So, how to secure them is, number one, telling them what you really have in mind. It's about the first thing is, I think this will be most beneficial to people who have finished well in the university right now. I think I'll still touch on people that didn't finish with with a high grade. So, but people that have finished well, and those people that are still in the university who have the opportunity to make sure that their grade is something to write home about at the end of the day. So the first thing is about finishing well. The first class might not give you a good life, but it will give you a good scholarship. That is it. Because first class is not the way to wealth, to riches, affluence, and all that, but it is a way to gaining scholarship. That's one thing I'm very sure of. So you would be able to get scholarships if you finish with 2-1 probably. But what I'm telling you is that, and getting the first class is not automatic also. You just have to put one or two things in the right way, and then you get your scholarship. So finishing well, number one, and two, it is not just about going to school and getting the grades or the certificate. You have to be involved in a lot of things. Scholarship, people that award scholarships, they really want someone that is not just about book alone. Someone that has a balanced lifestyle and that is contributing to wherever they find themselves, like in the university community. These people are the people that are director of sports, director of this, director of that, such things, that are taking leadership roles, and people that are highly committed to community service. For instance, you might be one of those people that clean up your environment in your area. These little things can't so well. They can't so well. So whatever you think you are doing outside the university that is good is a great, I think, is a great addition to your application package. So, and again, writing your personal statements, like I said, there are a lot of books online that you can read to securing graduate scholarship that has to do with books that have to do with writing convincing personal statements. It, apart from your grade, this is the next most important thing. And then the recommendation letter. Like I said, the recommendation letter is not just about going to a professor and just telling them, "Hi sir, please, I want a personal statement." You really have to have built a relationship, healthy one, not errand boy or errand girl, LD1. You have to be intentional about these things right from school. So now people that probably didn't finish well from in the university, there are a lot of things you can do. If you finished with the 2 or third class, you can always get a PGD and make sure you put in your best to finish well. That after that, you'll be able to cover up for the academic lapses in your first degree. So basically, I think it's about getting good grade, writing convincing personal statements, having good reference letters, and overall being like a dynamic human. Being a dynamic human, doing everything possible to better lives of people around you, offering to help people, and make sure that these things are done intentionally. You are not doing it you are not just doing it. You are doing it out of free will, and you are doing it for documentation purpose. So there are scholarships like the Commonwealth Scholarship, Chevening Scholarship, that scholarship in Germany. The Commonwealth and Chevening are usually in the UK. Mastercard scholarships to Edinburgh, UK, to UBC in Canada, to McGill in Canada, to Arkansas in the US. A lot of Mastercard has like a lot of. I'm actually a Mastercard scholar, so they have a lot of partner universities around the world, even in Africa, South Africa, Ghana, and all that. They have a lot of universities they are partnering with, and then I think at UBC their contracts finished this year, but we are looking forward to them renewing the contract. So you can always update yourself on their website to know about these things. But this is my advice to people who are looking for scholarship, that want to secure scholarship. You don't have to wait for Commonwealth. You don't have to wait for Mastercard. You don't have to wait for Chevening or DAD. You don't have to wait for all these so-called prestigious scholarships. You don't have to wait for them. There is one thing you can do. If you know that you have a research mind, you are interested in finding out new things and contributing to scholarship. So you can always contact professors who are doing research in your field. Let them know that you have gone through their profile and you think you can read their latest publication papers, and then let them know that, okay, I've read this and I think I'm fascinated by your research. You can even find a connection between their research and what you have done in your undergraduate thesis, or what you did in your PhD or master's at home. So you can always find a link between these things and let them know what you two have done to scholarship, what you have done, how you have contributed to knowledge, your findings in your undergraduate studies and all that. But keep these emails very short, succinct, and straight to the point. So let them know professors can give you full scholarship. They can give it to you. You don't have to wait for Mastercard. So waiting for Mastercard, waiting for Chevening and the likes is just like you putting yourself in a competitive situation. You are competing. It is actually good for your CV. Anywhere I go, I always write it, Mastercard scholar on my CV. It is prestigious, right? So I always put it. But the point is, you don't really have to wait for these things. You don't have to wait for them. You keep moving, you keep trying as much as you can. Try as many schools as you can, as many supervisors as you can. Reach out to them, let them know what you have to offer. And it is very good, even if you do not finish with a very good grade, you could get work experience. Go to research labs, volunteer. Let them know that you can do this or you want to learn. So even if it is 6 to 8 to 9 or 12 months that you spend there, there is no way you wouldn't gain anything. These are the things. I must tell you, the school I am now, it was just my NYSC experience that I used. It was just my NYSC. I think I worked at OAU as a research assistant. So I was first in the dean's office working for the faculty officer, and then she recommended me to the dean that I should be put in my department for research and all that. So 6 months research, administrative work, 6 months research. Anything I'm applying for, I'll tell you I have both research and administrative experience because my NYSC afforded me the opportunity. So just 6 months, I think our paper got published in May. So this is what you can achieve. This is what you can achieve doing little things, but make sure you are just intentional about it. Thank you. You are muted.
Thank you for that wonderful position you have made us understand. So Paul, you have the floor now. Let us hear your own perception about how you succeeded in your whole.
Okay, the first thing that I would say is that whoever that is seeking a scholarship should be at their best. As in, you want to be the one that want to convince yourself first. Be convincing, convince yourself. Because if you don't convince yourself, you cannot convince somebody else. And like Timileyin had earlier said, the competition is fierce. Okay, especially if you are applying for these major scholarships. There are so many people around the world that's applying at the same time. Now, I would also say that take position. Take positions of leadership, whether in your church, in your mosque, in your community, in the school environment. These things will count. Okay, and I'm quickly running through some of the things I wrote down. Then start on time. This is very, very important because applications have deadline. So start on time, apply on time. Another one is target good universities. The thing is that good universities, they are also looking for the best. And even when they don't advertise scholarship, they can still give you scholarship. But if you apply to the worst or the universities with the lowest ranking, there is possibility that they are just going by. So they don't have much to spare. But you see, all these universities that are rich, they have money safe. You understand? They're always having researches. They're always having works that they need assistance with. So like I said earlier, that scholarship is not just free. So they are looking for people who have something that they can contribute. You know, so it is very, very important. That's what I did. I applied to, there's a university in Massachusetts, Brandeis University. I never even heard about it until I was searching. And they gave me 60% scholarship, you know, even though I did not have to take it. I applied to Columbia University. They said they don't give scholarship to international students. By the time I write the third time, they gave me some form of scholarship. So go to the top universities, but study that you are study their requirements. Make sure that you qualify, so that you are not just budgeting for nothing. You know, if you don't qualify, there's no need trying to even ask. You know, then I would say your worldview is important when you are writing a letter, when you are writing a personal statement. It's very important. Package your story. This is very important. They may say in 250 words, describe yourself. What will you say? This is not where you begin to say, my mother is this, my daddy is that. Something that you have done, your perception, your understanding of the world, that's what they want to know. Your understanding of the course you want to study, all right? And ask for somebody who knows better to review it for you. Don't ask them to write for you, but ask them to review for you, okay? Because it has to be you that's reflected in that, whatever you have written. Take note of key events. As events unfold in your life, you know, I saw one of Timileyin's personal statement, and he had written events, small events, like class rep, like when I volunteer for this one, I volunteer for that. Those are things that you need to know. So write it down, note them down. They are very, very important. Then research very, very well. Thank God the internet is there. You know, there are so many groups on Facebook nowadays whereby they are talking about scholarship, they are advertising different things. So utilize your internet very, very well. This is very important. Then write a good email, professional email, if you have to contact them. You know, don't just write don't just write any as though you are just you know, writing to. Don't write something that's unprofessional. That's just it. Then finally, gain some level of experience, some level of work experience or volunteer. I know that volunteer is not common in Africa, you know, but when you're applying for scholarship, they always want to know what have you volunteered for something, you know. So I think it's high time we began to you know, inculcate the habit of volunteering. Help somebody. That's something you can do. These things are very, very important, and it helps you to be able to have something cogent to write.
Thank you, Paul, for that wonderful position you've made us understand. It's actually a very good one for viewers out there, maybe for your son, your daughter, your friend, your relative, even yourself, because there is no age barrier in seeking knowledge in education. So today, Paul and Timmy, they've really made us understand how to secure scholarship, full scholarship abroad. But before we depart, let me leave you with this statement I read from Timmy's wall. Scholars are not always of them that give up. So I think he has consistently tried getting a scholarship, perhaps in Germany at the time, if I'm correct. But he was not given, but he persisted. He was tenacious about it. And that's actually a practical thing about life as well. You don't give up on anything. So, viewers, our guests, they've really made us understand what we should do, how we should go about things we really need to have understanding of. They've made us really understand the importance of time to actually to doing what we have to do. So I really appreciate our guest for today, Paul. We're having Paul from India, and of course we are having Timile from Canada. These are great scholars, and of course we hope we'll continue to discuss about this subsequently. But before then, I hope that you will be a scholar. Thank you, listeners out there. Perhaps you have your maybe question. You can always drop in our chat box. You can drop your message in the message box of this platform. We'll take it up going forward. And perhaps you would love to engage any of the two guests we have today. Just equally drop your comment in the message session. It will definitely get to us and will definitely engage you going forward. Once again, Paul, we appreciate you for your time, and Timmy, we really appreciate you for your time. So we really wish you well as you embark further on your academic sojourn. Thank you so much.